Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. So I'm just going to go ahead and provide an update on what I've been doing lately. I started growing my vegetable garden and a flower garden so I can see my sage is coming in nicely. I'm growing some snap beans. I'm growing some sweet peppers, so they're all coming in. And I just planted these a few days ago, so you're not going to see any seeds here, but that's just more vegetables. For my flowers, I always plant gladiolus bulbs, zinnias, liatris. So I'm going to go over to the other side of my yard where I'm growing the majority, actually just about all of my flowers on this particular side since it's so sunny. So I'm showing you a little bit of my gladioli growth coming in. Again, I planted some, and I guess about a month ago or a little over a month ago now. And it's like they weren't growing that much. So I had to go back in and do some mulching, put some, mix the soil here. I'm in zone 9B in Houston, Texas. This is my liatris, or liatris as some say. It's coming in very well. I like mine kind of bunched up, even though it says you shouldn't do that, but mine seem to always grow better when they're together. And that just may be a Houston, zone 9B thing. And here are more gladiolus bulbs coming through. I decided to go ahead and plant some hollyhock roots. I have tried hollyhocks for a very long time, almost like year after year for the past probably 3 or 4 years, and I can never get them to grow beyond, 5 or 6 leaves. So I'm hoping this year is the year that I actually can see the plant grow in height and kind of trail along the fence that they're in front of. Here I'm growing some zinnias, some ranunculus. Ranunculus is another flower that I just cannot get to grow. But I'm trying that again this year. I have some zinnias coming, some zinnia seedlings coming through. This time I tried to put them in, I guess you call them compost cups. And I put them in the ground because at some point they'll, disintegrate into the soil, and then everything will be all well. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm what I call a freelance gardener. That's what I call myself. Basically, I guess a no fuss gardener. I try not to, excuse my voice, there's something going on in the weather, and it's apparently I'm in some type of allergies. I just like to put things in the ground, seeds, roots, bulbs, water them, and in my mind, everything's going to work out. And generally, that's been in the case overall. But as I'm branching out and trying different types of flowers and different types of vegetation, I'm putting a little bit more care and concern into the ground. So I'm trying new things. Like this year is actually my first year really trying the mulching. I've done like topsoil, but this is like the first time I actually like tried to mix stuff into the soil and just be more, careful and concerned with it because, it is money. And even though seeds are pretty cheap, you can get them from like the Dollar Tree or the Family Dollar, Walmart. They're all pretty cheap. They're pretty reasonable. I don't just want to literally throw money away. So I'm putting a bit, and you want to see things grow. When you're a gardener, people garden for different reasons. For me, I want to see things grow. I want to see things being put into the ground. I want to see how will they come up. I want to see a harvest. I love flowers. I love being able to look out into my window, or out the window rather, and see flowers. It is my thing. In my 40 plus years being here on the earth, I never liked flowers until probably maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And then I just started really falling in love with flowers. So I love being able to look out my window, see flowers. So hopefully this year I'm getting more of a harvest with my gladiolus flowers. My zinnias are pretty much like a tried and true. So I'm hoping that continues on. My liatris, I'm hoping that continues on. That's what I meant to mention. I'm trying sweet peas this year. I'm trying my hollyhocks again this year. I'm trying the ranunculus flower again this year. So I'm hoping for those last few that they show me something different. I am trying larkspur. I don't know why I can't talk today. The allergies are just taking over. the larkspur. So I did put them in the freezer. You're supposed to, they like cold stratification. So I put them in the freezer for about a week and then put them into the soil. So I'm hoping that that does something and I can see some growth. I haven't just yet, but I'm hoping that at some point, maybe with the next couple of weeks, just keep, consistent watering. I'm hoping that I see something manifest there. Now, moving on from the garden. Earlier this year, my mom and I decided to host the birthday party for my very first great niece, my mom's first great grandchild. And we are just in love with this little girl. I won't say her name because I don't have permission from my nephew, his father, or her father, excuse me. So I won't mention her name or add any photos here just out of respect. But we threw her birthday party, and when I tell you I am just so in love, I totally understand, and it took some years for me to get here. All of the things for the babies, like I used to just think like, oh, some gifts and a cake, but as I've gotten older, it's like I really get it now. You want to do so much. You want to do everything. You want everything to be beautiful and perfect. And that's not saying anything about because I do have nieces and nephews, but I was in my 20s. So I think I was in a mind frame of, in your 20s and you're single, you don't have any children, your mind frame sometimes can just be a little bit different. But now that I'm older, I totally get it. And if I, had $1 million, I probably would have spent $1,001 just so that her birthday party, especially her very first birthday party, was just absolutely perfect. And so my mom and I decided to do some, like a dessert table or a dessert card, I guess that's what you call it. And so I made these mini strawberry shortcakes, and I placed them in the flutes, as you can see. And I take no credit for the cupcakes. I bought those from Walmart, but nonetheless, it worked. But my mom and I decided to do chocolate covered or chocolate dipped, however you want to say it, pretzels. And it was so much fun. Like, you melt the chocolate, you get the pretzels, and you can buy the pretzels from the Dollar Tree. You dip it in the hot chocolate, and you can sprinkle it, and you can cover it with whatever you want. And my mom was like, we need to just start a little business here. Like, we were so excited. We were so thrilled to do it. And really, it was so much fun. I do it all over. I do see why people love event planning, because there's so many things that you can create. There's so many different ideas and different themes and different colors. You really can't get lost in it. Now, of course, there is a business side to it, as with anything, but I can definitely see, especially for those who are right brain, I definitely can see why people would choose that as a profession. I mean, I'm a girl's girl. I totally fell in love with that. Now, ordinarily, I don't get too personal, but here I am graduating with my second master's degree in public administration, even though we know under the current administration, and probably just in general, degrees don't really mean anything anymore, but I got it. It was only 6 more classes for me to have the second master's degree, and it's like, well, it's 6 more classes, so why not just go ahead and do it? Also, to get a little bit personal with you, I experienced what I'm calling a near-death experience earlier this year. Yes, that's right. A near-death experience, like me. So here is, I don't know if you want the long version or the short version, but here's the me version that happened. So this was January. Oh, I think I blocked out the date. I think it was January for some reason, I want to say 19th. It was like oh, geez. Was it the 19th? See how my mind is really good for blocking out stuff like that. Anyway, it was earlier in January. I was up on it may even been a Saturday or a Sunday. My mind really does block out stuff that's traumatic. That's so weird. I don't remember like half my childhood. Anyway, I was out and about. It was a weekend day. It was either a Saturday or a Sunday. And I was going about my day. I had everything planned. I was going to get up. I was going to run errands. I was going to come back home, clean up, That's why when I initially planned to start doing like my early garden and stuff, putting stuff out in the ground. Um, and I remember being at the store feeling, now also let me frame it like this as well. I was on what's called a Daniel's fast for a couple of weeks. So I wasn't eating anything that had meat in it. And I'm a vegetarian anyway, so that's totally fine. But I wasn't eating anything with meat, anything with basically animal products or processed food. So I was eating like, and it's probably a little bit processed. I had like Chipotle's burrito, like black beans, lettuce, tomato, no guac, of course, no sour cream again because no dairy, no animal products. So I was eating, and I'm like a heavy cheese person. So because I'm a vegetarian, I find myself eating like a lot of starchy foods. So basically, most of the starch outside of the beans were ripped out, okay? So on this particular day, I'm at the store. I'm feeling really lightheaded, but in my mind, I'm on this Daniel's fast. I'm just hungry. I'm driving way across town to, run errands and get stuff. I'm in and out of stores, haven't eaten too much. So in my mind, I'm just like fatigued, right? Because you're fasting, so you're just fatigued and you're up running around. So yeah, naturally going to feel a little bit tired. So I'm driving my vehicle. I can remember this specifically. I was inside of the Dollar Tree. Yes, I spent a lot of time at the Dollar Tree because it's cheap. So I'm inside the Dollar Tree, and I remember a gentleman walking by me. Now, again, I'm on a spiritual fast. I'm on a Daniel's fast. And so I'm in a spiritual mindset, right? So he walks by me, tell you how crazy I am. And the room starts going dark the store starts going dark and it's spinning. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she just really has dark energy. Like, why am I was fatigued a second ago now. Like, it's getting dim. Like, the lights are going out. So I make it out of the store. I get in my car and I sit down for a second. It's like, whew, like I'm really, like, I need to get home. So home is like 45 minutes away again, because my crazy self will drive way across town to shop in an area that I want to shop in. And that's just me. So as I'm driving home, I'm having a hard time. I feel like I'm about to pass out. So I'm having a hard time steering my vehicle, staying in my lane. Oh God. But like I have to make it home. Like there's no one, my father, he lives here. But you're an adult. You're like, when you're single, and I don't know who feels this, but as a single woman, I feel like there's no one that I can call. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, Daddy, can you come get me? I'm feeling kind of funny and, I'm trying to drive my car. Like, you're an adult, right? Like, you try to muster it up. Like, I'm going to be okay. So by the grace of God, I make it home, pull in my garage. I probably had some water. I don't remember if I did, but usually that's like my thing. When I get home, like, I'll have some ice water or something. I make it on in. And okay, my mind, like, okay, I'm just going to clean up. Let me just take it easy. Again, I'm on this Daniel's fast. I'm just fatigued. So I'm cleaning up, and I can't even clean up, guys. Like, I am the weakest I have ever been in my life. And I have fasted before. I've been on a 40-day no food fast and I wasn't even having shakes. I was having like water, apple juice, coffee, maybe some tea, like zero food, zero protein shakes, none of that, right? Actually, I think I may have had a couple of protein shakes. I take that back, but no food. Still worked out, still made it to the gym. I would get lightheaded at the gym. Okay, I know I'm lightheaded because I'm fasting, but I'm going to get my workout in. I'm going to go home. I was so tired. I was like losing strength. Like, oh my gosh, like mentally losing strength because my mind is shutting down. So I said, okay, let me just sit down for a second. I'm doing too much. I'm trying to clean too hard. I'm on this fast. So I sit down on my couch, and like I've made it halfway through cleaning stuff, rugs everywhere. There's trash in the corner because I've swept it, but it didn't have the strength to get it up, right? Because the room keeps going dark, keeps spinning. So I sit down on my couch and like, let me relax. And that's not doing it. So I said, okay, let me just go lay down. Let me just sleep it off. Let me just take a nap, get my body, let me just calm down. I've just been way too busy. I'm way too fatigued. I'm way too hungry. I'm famished. Let me lay my body down so that I can get my strength so I can finish my cleaning and do my gardening. I lay down on my bed and the spinning is worse. And then it's not just like the room is getting dim, it's getting dark. Like it is getting dark. And that's like, I guess that's how you black out. So something's like, no, you better don't go to sleep. So I actually ended up calling my father. Again, like it's so embarrassing. Like as a single woman here, I have to run to daddy. So I call my father, and I love my father, so I'm not saying anything against him. I'm just like, maybe that's the hyper independence in me, right? So I said, hey, Dad, you busy? Yeah, I'm getting ready to go out of town for work. So my father travels for work a lot. I can't stand up. Feel like I'm about to faint. Can you come get me? Take me to, the hospital. Okay, sure. I'm on my way. So he gets here in about 20 minutes. I was able to find the strength to walk outside. And I don't think he realized how weak I said I was because he didn't get out the car, but he's older. So like my driveway is like on a little bit of an incline. So I'm trying to walk down the incline to the street where he's at. And the world is spinning around me. It's like if you were probably, had a whole case of beer or something, like it's spinning like that. So I'm walking down my driveway with my hands out like I'm walking in the dark because, again, everything is dim and it's dark. Okay? No peripheral. Everything's shutting down. I make it to the vehicle. I get in. He makes a U-turn in a little cul-de-sac, puts in like the nearest urgent care. From that point to probably 35 seconds later, I'm telling him, pull over. I'm about to, for lack of better words, I'm about to throw up. Pull over right here, like 45 seconds, because it's spinning so bad now, I'm nauseous. So I get out of his vehicle. I have that episode for about 3 minutes. Finally, it feels like, okay, I'm done. Let's get back in. Let's head out. Get back in his vehicle. We make it to the urgent care. It may have been 7 minutes. It was so close. Because I remember him saying, oh, it's one right here. It's one right here. He had put it in his GPS. It was so close. We get there. He says she can't walk. So they go get a wheelchair. They wheel me into one of the rooms. At this point, I'm realizing like I can't open my eyes. So my eyes are closed because if my eyes are open, I can see the spinning, it's worse. But if I close my eyes, I realize in that short span of time from him picking me up in the vehicle to the urgent care, okay, I need to keep my eyes closed. So I'm in the wheelchair. I can hear them taking me to the place or into one of the rooms. Then they start asking 1,001 questions. I'm trying to be as coherent as possible because I'm trying to tell these people I'm about to pass out. Like, I don't know how many times you can say that before you actually pass out. And I always feel like I'm a strong person. That's just me. And I guess they probably hear that a lot. Like especially like urgent care, like, oh, I can't breathe. They probably hear stuff like that all the time, but you're telling me you can't breathe. So that means you can. But what people are experiencing is very true. So I was telling them I'm about to pass out because I could feel it coming. Like I've never felt like everything was going black. Okay. So, and I guess I thought this was going to be like a shorter version, but I'm just going to just be fully in detail. So they're taking vitals. They're asking questions. What's going on? What happened? I'm expressing the dizziness, the fatigue. I'm not sure. I'm generally a healthy person. I'm not sure what's going on. The ER physician comes in. He's like, are you, because I was at this point, like I'm throwing up, like I'm answering a question, but then I'm throwing up. I'm answering questions, I'm throwing up, like literally every 20 seconds, here it comes. Okay. So the doctor comes in, I'm a woman, still, in my childbearing years, but Lord willing, one pops out of here. He's like, are you pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. When was the last time you had your period? I'm on my period right now. Have you ever been pregnant? And like, to me, it's like, why are you asking me that? Have I ever been pregnant? If I say no, how is that relative to what's going on? But I'm not a physician, okay? All right. No. Why? And my father's here, so I like stop. So I just kind of look at him at that point. So then he's like, okay, well, come. I heard you're fatigued or you're having trouble walking. So, but I want to see your gait. So I know what that means. My father's a registered nurse. Two aunts that are registered nurses. So I know what that means. I want to see your gait. I want to see how you walk. So I get up, walk about 5 feet over to him, and I'm having my arms out like I'm Ray Charles, no disrespect, but that's just how I couldn't, or like everything was black spots. So I couldn't see anything clearly, right? Walk over to him, okay, then kind of, walk back to the bed, sit down, and I lay down. I try to lay down on the bed. The nurses are like, no, you're throwing up. Don't lay down because we don't want you to aspirate, meaning we don't want you to choke on your own what's coming up. And I know what that means. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let myself do that, but I cannot sit up. I need to lay down, at least partially. So they obliged. I give my father my insurance card. He's answering questions. He's doing his best because, I'm an adult. I'm somebody that normally handles this stuff. I don't have people do that for me. So they come in, they put in an IV one arm, the other arm, they're taking blood. They come back, and all this happens probably within about a span of 15 minutes. They take my blood, they come back, and they say, oh, her hemoglobin is low. I know what that means. My father looks at me, I look at him. We both know what that means, right? I'm not a nurse, but you grew up with it, you know what that means. My hemoglobin is 5. For those that don't know, a hemoglobin of 5, it can cause a fatality. It means that you have, like, you're running out of blood. You're on E, baby. Like the gas station is 20 miles away and you got a gallon. Like you on fumes right now. There's pretty much no blood. So immediately they say, okay, we have to we don't do blood. You need a blood transfusion and we don't do that here. So we have to transfer you to, X hospital. My father's like, well, I'll take it. They're like, no, because we transfer, she has to go into an actual ambulance truck. Nobody, because they're transferring you. You're under their care until you get to the next place. So you can't just go get in your dad's vehicle drive. Because he's like, in his mind, I can get there fast because, but it happened. They came. It was quick. Everything was smooth. To wrap it up, I was transferred to the hospital. They immediately gave me a blood transfusion. I had 2 pints. And that's what it was. So the fatigue or the blacking out that I was experiencing was when you don't have hemoglobin, you don't have blood, you don't have oxygen. So all of the dimness and the feeling of the blackout and the black spots that were happening everywhere, I can't see where I don't have any oxygen. So your organs start, they start pulling. Because the body is fighting for its life, So I didn't have any oxygen, basically, because I didn't have any blood. 5 hemoglobin is very low. Again, that can cause a fatality. And had I have decided to, like I was going to do, just try to sleep it off, that would have been that. That would have been that. Meaning I would have went into my eternal good night. So that was January. February happened, March came, is on its way out. Today's the last day. And my life from that point has been a whirlwind, and it has also provided a lot of clarity for me. What do you mean by that, Rachel of Sunshine? Clarity meaning that you really, and some people may say that was near death, baby. Had I gone to sleep and there's no one to come check on me again because I'm a single person, no kids, no boyfriend, no man, or anything like that. Just a job here in the city that I live in Houston, Texas. It would have been heaven knows how long before somebody said, hey, we haven't heard from my job. Would probably call. Maybe they, she probably quit, like jobs don't check on you like they used to. It would have been probably a week or so. Even though I talk to my mom every day, she lives in San Antonio, it probably would have been a week plus before anyone would have sent out a well check. And that would have been that. I probably would have slipped into a coma or just, the body would have gave out. The heart would have gave out. The brain would have gave out because there's no oxygen, there's no blood. So I said all that to say this. So the clarity came during that process, and even now, it really is setting a stage of what's really important and what really matters to me. And now I realize more than ever how I just want to be happy. That's it. Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to do the things that make me happy. I want to pour into me. And by pouring into me, I don't just mean like, oh, let me just go buy myself everything that I want. But let me be, and I don't have the money to do that anyway, but let me be more intentional with how I treat me and how I allow people to treat me. And at the end of the day, what's truly, really, and truly important. My mom's mom used to always say, really and truly, ratio, or really and truly. What's really and truly important to me. And that is my peace, my sanity, my health, my family, and those things. And keeping my relationship, my spiritual relationship. I'm a Christian. I make no qualms about that. I'm not here to convert you, but I do want you to be converted. But God's will, God's way, God's time. But my spiritual relationship is the most important to me. So, having said that, that's the update that's been going on. Now, I was going to talk about everything that's been going on with gas prices and Venezuela and Iran and Israel and all these things. But as I'm looking out my window, just looking at this tree blowing in the wind, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that right now. I just want to talk about, which I did, about really being intentional. Because you don't have to have, and I don't want you to have, or have to have a near-death experience for you to really get how short life is. Even if you live to be 100 and plus, it is still short. And by that, I mean, how many moments do we truly savor? How many moments do we actually live in, like presently? Not thinking about what we have to do tomorrow or what's our 5-year goal, what's our 10-year goal. And those are great to have, right? Because you want to make sure, if it's important to you, you want to make sure that you're reaching your goals and that you're growing and succeeding if that's on your plan. Somebody may say, I've done everything that I want to do, and I do truly live in the moment. I'm free, I'm a it's kind of used to be like in the 70s. I wasn't alive. I wasn't born then, but I think that was kind of like the hippie mind frame of just being free and just blowing in the wind. Now, because I was reared how I was reared, I do believe in, having a foundation, but I also understand the importance of being flexible. So if I can frame this whole entire post or this whole entire video to have a message, tying it into from me gardening to planning helping to plan the birthday party for my great niece to what I experienced in January, is just realizing the importance of life and hearing the moments. Really hearing the moments and living in the moments. That's what I will leave to you today. I do promise to, if I'm allowed to do better with posting. I was doing really well. I wanted to grow my channel, and I still want to grow my channel. I want to lean towards the positive and not the negative stuff that goes on. That's kind of why I'm not going to talk about what's going on with things politically, because that has its place. It really does. It does have its place. But it just doesn't have its place here. I just want to be positive, uplifting. I want to be your sunshine, your good spot. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please leave your comments down below if you've experienced NDE or anything that you want to comment, as long as it's good and positive and shed some light somewhere. Until then, thanks for watching.